Hey everybody, welcome back. Oh, it's good to see you. It's good to have you here on this Tuesday, January 27th. I am just sitting down with my half-calf coffee. Today is obviously every day is obviously a school day for me. I am in college to become a licensed alcohol and drug counselor. I am 2 semesters in. Yeah, so far so good. Challenging. Every day is a class that I have to focus on, and there aren't very many days off. I did get a little bit of time off this weekend, but as you guys know, I'm always going through something. Life is always presenting me with a challenge, and this last couple weeks have been absolutely no different. I am excited to be here with you this morning. We got a couple of readings that we're going to share, and one that we have never even shared before on this channel ever, from the Little Red Book. And the Little Red Book is an old book that I collected. I collected that on a job. Some of you guys may know I used to do biohazard and hoarding cleanouts. And in the days of my hoarding cleanouts and biohazard time, I found a lot of cool things. I have a lot of cool things that I found on jobs. Not saying that all that is, but I have knickknacks and trinkets and records and pictures and things that remind me to keep moving on, to keep going forward, and that every day is going to be different. And that Little Red Book has a really good reading that I'm going to share with you guys here in a second. And but before I do, as my friend Chris over at Slick Wide Glide says, coffee first. I love those guys over there, cruising on through on two. Yeah. Speaking of that, you guys, man, I can't wait to get back out and get on my motorcycle again. One of the things I wanted to talk about is recovery. And, shocker, recovery. What? You want to talk about recovery? Well, what I want to talk about today is early in recovery. When we first get into it, we honestly don't have any clue how to do it. Most of us fake it till we make it, and then once we make it, then we're like, aha, waha. But you don't have those aha moments all the time. They're sometimes few and far between, but when you have those moments, journal about it, write about it, get your notebook out and talk about it, and remember those times, because I remember those times looking back, but I also remember times of stagnant times of stagnation, of, just like spinning my wheels. And the last couple of weeks have been super difficult for me. I've wanted to just come on and make a message every single day. It's not like I wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I gotta make a message today. I used to feel like that, and I used to get out many messages during the day, but I found out that more doesn't equal better, right? Sometimes quality over quantity is the way to go. And I hit this channel very, very hard the first couple 2, 3, 4 years, and it's just been in the last month or two that I've really taken a step back and started to focus on my academics. And I had a job. I was working for UPS, and the funny thing about the UPS job is they hired me for a seasonal help driver, and I think I worked a couple times, and then they stopped contacting me. They stopped sending me messages about work, and I was like, what the heck? And then I got in trouble at home a little bit for not working, but I'm like, well, I went through orientation, I got the job at UPS, I even worked a couple times, and then they literally stopped contacting me, but I still got my bonus. So that goes to show that I didn't tell them no, because if you tell them no, that you can't work just once, you don't get your bonus. So I never told them I couldn't work, and then when they sent my bonus, I was really surprised. I was like, oh, that's really cool that they stuck to it, Anyways, I worked, and then the holidays happened, and then here we are we're almost done with January, and I'm 2 or 3 weeks into school, and I'm feeling motivated to give you guys a message this morning, and we're gonna do the reading, and I hope this doesn't get too long. I wasn't trying to make this too long. But when I first came into early recovery, I seen with my own eyes people in my life that also needed recovery. So I thought, maybe mistakenly, that if I go all in and do recovery, like all in, and make videos, that those people that needed to be in recovery like me, so I thought, right, would see the messages and see my inspiration and see how far I go with this and be like, wow, this guy's serious about this. I think I better try that. And honestly, you know what? I'm sure a few people out there on the channel and in the community have found hope and inspiration and encouragement to go into recovery or stay in recovery because of one of my messages, which I'm greatly and deeply humbled and very grateful for. But it wasn't the people that I thought, right? It wasn't the people in my life that I knew and I see and I had seen struggle with addiction. Now, addiction comes into many different forms. Addiction looks like something very different to everybody, but addiction could be drugs, alcohol, people, places, things. It can be food, and each addiction has its own dynamics. And you know, I've been with somebody in my life for many years, and I see this person struggling with an addiction all the time. And I offer my help, but most of the time I just step back and I just let it happen. And you know, for me, it's been really tough. It's been really tough because I feel like I have the answers for people, and I know the answers, but nobody will come to me because they don't want to give me the gratification of thinking that I know the answer. And so it's like an ego game, right? And so I need to get myself into a position where I am actually licensed or whatever. I don't know, that I am a long ways away from getting licensed, but I want to be in the field where people take me seriously, so that the information I'm giving is actually really listened to and really heard. And some guy in his basement yapping on his phone reading from recovery books probably is going to help some people out there, including myself, but not taken seriously, right? Eventually, maybe it will. We've been doing this for a while, and we have thousands of messages, and I've revamped the channel a couple times, and I've gone through and I've deleted a bunch of videos, and of course I lost those views, but I don't care. I did want the views. I wanted the views, but I didn't want them for the right reasons. So now coming back on, trying to give you guys a message, you know, once every 2 weeks, once or twice a month, especially while I'm focusing on school, I think is the best option for me. And I know a lot of us are like, dang it, I want to see Jesse, an Irish guy, Lefty they call me in the club. I want to see this guy more often, but honestly I need to focus on what I have going on. So recovery looks different for everybody, and some of the challenges that we're going to face in recovery can be helped by the knowledge that we pick up along the way. And this little red book is really profound. Check this out. Step 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Step 2 deals with mental illness. They're talking about mental illness way back in the 40s and 50s. Amazing. However intelligent we may have been in our respects, okay, wherever alcohol has been involved, we have been strangely insane. It's strong language, but isn't it true? It is. It's still true today in 2026. No alcoholic acts sanely while drinking. No, nobody. Chronic poisoning from the alcohol results in compulsive drinking and insane behavior. Willpower is not a factor in recovery until the compulsion has been removed. Since reservations defeat any honest attempt to stop drinking, we find it necessary to recognize our mental instability. Dodging the truth only results in distorted thinking and opposition to the help from a power greater than ourselves. Amazing. That is amazing. So here is our AA thought for today, and then we'll wrap a little bit and then I'll let you go. Alcoholics carry an awful load around with them. What a load lying puts on your shoulders. You see, drinking makes liars out of all us alcoholics. Because in order to get the liquor we want, we have to lie all the time. We have to lie about where we've been, what we've been doing, who we're with. And when you are lying, you are only half alive because of the fear of being found out. Oh, that's a good one. And when you come into this program to get honest with yourself and with other people, that terrible load of lying will fall off of your shoulders. So have I got rid of that load of lying? And that is, that's hitting home for me, because I see people in my life that still haven't gotten out of that. That's like the last thing they're holding on to. They don't want to be honest about something because they're too afraid about what they're going to look like. And it's a shame, because on the other side of that admittance, of that acknowledgement of being powerless over your addiction, I'm telling you, there's freedom. Because in step 2, you come to believe that we can get our power back and that our life can be manageable and that we don't have to be insane anymore, because our actions Just because you're not addicted to alcohol doesn't mean that your actions aren't insane. It might be not insane to you, but to other people looking at the addiction or looking at it from afar, or somebody who's been there and done that, like myself, I see people with an addiction and I look at it and I say, oh, if only they would acknowledge, excuse me, my teeth have been widening as I get older and I get these little gaps, and I got a problem with my right eye. I got to go in and get fixed. But you guys, I see people with addiction and I just wonder to myself if today is the day that they actually acknowledge that they don't have to lie to themselves and other people anymore. They can actually be truthful. And because what the thing is too, is that I tell people is that a lot of the people that are struggling with an addiction think that nobody knows. They think, oh, I'm really good at hiding it and I can hide it and nobody will know. That's not true, man. People can see when you're addicted. They can see. People can plainly see when you're addicted, and you may not know it, but other people do. Meditation for the day. I believe that in a spiritual world, as in the material world, there is no empty space. As fears and worries and resentments depart out of my life, I get all excited about this stuff. I love talking about recovery. As fears and worries and resentments depart out of my life, the things of the Spirit come in to take their places. Calm comes after a storm. As soon as I am rid of my fears and hates and selfishness, God's love and peace and calm can come in. So today I pray that I may rid myself of all those fears and all those resentments, and so that peace and serenity may take their place. And I pray that I may sweep my life clean of evil, so that good may come in. And a couple of readings for you guys to sit on and think about today. If you guys are interested in that reading every day, that's the Hazelton 24 Hours a Day book. I live my life by this book. I've been through this book so many times. Such a great thing, great asset, great reading. And of course, this little red book I found in a hoarding clean out or a deceased death. I don't remember if it was a biohazard job or not, but this little book is new to me, but it's really cool because the language is from the 50s and it's from the Hazelton Center, and I believe from 1957. Okay, so we're talking early, within the first 10, 20 years of AA, and the language in those books is just so profound because it was from a different time. But it seemed to me that it was more of an intellectual time, that people cared about what, the words they used and the dynamics. And now we live in a digital age where everything is about quick and autocorrect and AI. And I gotta tell you guys, AI has been an incredible asset to our society, but it also takes away from the authenticity that we have. And yes, it helps us finish a sentence, and yes, it helps us get the correct spelling and the correct writing, but it also is making and generating our thoughts for us, which is helpful because it gives us ideas that we normally wouldn't have got, but we're not using our own. And so it's a weird thing, and it's cool dynamic, but I also have some worries and some apprehensions about how far we're going to take this, and eventually is it just going to create the sentences for us and all we have to do is hit enter? I don't know. And I think obviously in college you have to do your own work, so they have ways and means of running your stuff through AI generators and stuff like that, which is good. I like that, and I can tell that some of the students are using them as I read through the posts and discussions, because each class that I'm in, except for the math class, has like a discussion area where you can talk with other kids, other students. I mean, a lot of the people that I'm in school with are PSEO, which means that they are post-secondary education option, which means that they're going through college in high school. So a lot of these people are 16, 17, 18 years old. They're just kids, they're pups. And I know that our school tells us right away that you can't use AI, and of course I don't, but you see people that do, and you can tell because the wording is just, you can just tell. I can tell anyways. I'm not calling them cheaters, but just saying that you can't cut corners like that. You gotta stay true to the academic integrity of what you're doing. And if AI is giving us all this information and we're letting that do the work, we're not learning anything, and you're gonna get into the next course of your life or the next stage of your life in college, and you're not going to know because you didn't do the work yourself, especially in math. There is a discussion area in my math, but it's a little convoluted. You have to kind of know where to go to get there. But and it's just a place where people ask questions, rightfully so, because in math, I'm at a 10th grade math education level. I stopped going to math class in high school in the 10th grade. I was then released on the work program from 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade, and I got the credits I needed to graduate through the work program. And I had never really planned on going to college after that. I planned on getting into the military, so that was my goal. It's just to get through high school, get my diploma, and get into the Marines. And then when the Marines denied me, I tried to get in the National Guard. And when the National Guard denied me, I waited the time, and then I tried to get in again, and I couldn't get in. I even went in there with a congressional letter of recommendation from my uncle Leroy Stump, who was a state senator at the time. I forget his district. It was way up north, but he wrote me a letter, and I gave that letter to the Army, and the Army said, even though you got this great letter and your uncle's a senator and all that, they wouldn't let me in because I couldn't get water in my ears. And I couldn't get water in my ears because I was born with a cleft palate. Now, cleft palate means a lot of ear, nose, and throat issues, and I've had dozens of surgeries, and they took one good look in my ear, the doctor, and they're like, no, we can't do this. So the Marines and the Army denied me twice. So I went to MEPS quite a few times. I tried different ways of getting in, and MEPS is the military entering processing station. They might call it something different nowadays, I don't know, but going through MEPS was interesting because I went through it 3 times. I went through it once with my friend Alan Kohler right after high school. I was probably 18 or 19, 20 years old, and I went through it with him in the buddy system. And I remember the long drive up to MEPS in Fargo in the recruiter's car, and I sat in the back. Alan was in the front with, I don't remember his name, but he was a staff sergeant of some sort. I used to remember his name, but I can't remember. And, they're all excited. They're talking about careers and talking about this. And Alan's been working out for, 6 months to a year trying to get ready to go into boot camp. And I'm a little bit more lazy. I've been partying and I've been drinking and I've been doing this. And I just thought maybe the military would turn me around. And I was hoping that would be the case. But hindsight, obviously everything happens for a reason. We go through MEPS. They say the Marines can't take you, and so while I was there, I went over to the Army recruiter, and they said, yeah, let's get you on the schedule. Let's try to get you in. You got to get a few things done before that. And so I came back down, and then I went back up with my friend Chris and tried to get in on the buddy system with my friend Chris. Now, mind you, Alan got into the Marines that same day. He raised his arm, so I had to ride back with Alan and the recruiter. Alan's excited. I'm not so excited. I didn't get in. I'm thinking about what my plan is going forward. Me and Alan share an apartment in St. Cloud together. And after he left, that big apartment was left to me, and I subsequently moved out and ended up living on couches, which basically was how my life happened from then on out. I started using drugs. I was really depressed. I tried to get in the Army, tried to get in the National Guard with my friend Chris. My friend Chris got in. I didn't, and that was the final straw. I retreated back into life. I started working these temp jobs because I didn't have any kind of education. I didn't want to go to college. I was drinking, partying, doing drugs. It's pills, smoking weed, drinking alcohol. I did some LSD. I did some mushrooms. I did some meth, but nothing really stuck except for the alcohol. And then when the Army said no, I really went into a deep, kind of a deep depression, and I actually ended up living with a couple neo-Nazis way out in the boonies, on a farm, on a farm, and the things I saw out there was pretty crazy, and that's where we'll leave this today. So hey, you guys, I want you guys all to have a great Tuesday. If you're doing something, be passionate about it and be all in and do what you can to try to learn what you can to move forward, because life, it presents us each day, one day at a time, and when we find that nugget of truth or that thing to move forward with, I'm telling you, that's all the inspiration we need. So, excuse me. So you guys have a great Tuesday. Keep your chin up. Keep moving forward. Keep looking forward. And don't forget that I'm always here if you need me. You can find me at irishguyjg@yahoo.com. irishguyjg@yahoo.com. I leave my email everywhere I go because I don't have a lot of social media access anymore. So if you want to get a hold of me, email me there. And I actually had a subscriber email me the other day. Subscriber of a long time, and that person asked me if we could exchange numbers, and I said, I normally don't do this, but I think I know you well enough to do that, and thank God I did, because that person shared a bunch of really cool things with me. And not only that, but it widens my system of support, my support system, because right now in the last couple of weeks I felt like it was pretty small. There was a few times where I didn't know what to do, and I actually called the crisis line, and I talked to somebody for a while, and it was really helpful. And not that I was in crisis, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to utilize this. I want to know what this is all about, and I want to utilize this so I know. So if somebody else is having a hard time, I can say, definitely check out the crisis text line, because I talked to somebody there named Ashley, and that person really helped me, and it was really beneficial. And in those times when you don't want to call somebody, and you know it's late at night, and you're just like, who do I call? I don't want to bother anybody. It was a great asset. So yeah, have a great Tuesday. I love you. I'll see ya one day at a time, you guys.